Guys, and welcome into another video. I know it's been a long time since we've been able to do that, but welcome into 2020. Happy New Year to you all as well. We're going to be doing over something light real quick. Just going over trade packages basically for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, it's been news as of late. The games just ended for Saturday. Sunday's games are going to be happening today when you guys are seeing this, hopefully. Unless you're seeing this in the future, then I don't know what's happening the day you're watching. But it is a weird time in the NFL where rumors are going to start circulating, names are going to get thrown out, the draft process is already getting underway as prospects are going to start getting looked at more and more. The college football playoffs are almost over. We just have the Alabama game coming up as well, Alabama versus Ohio State, which should be a fun one. But this is big news lately, as Deshaun Watson apparently is just very unhappy, has not talked to the Texans in a while, which has caused some commotion in the NFL community because Deshaun Watson is a 25-year-old Pro Bowl, All-Pro type MVP caliber player, honestly. And to the Texans really just seem like they do not know what they're doing. And that's why we're here. We're going to be going over what Bleacher Report and Brad Gagnon, and we've gone over his articles before in the past, what he thinks are some good packages for Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure if these are actual packages or if they're like the Carson Wentz one where they're just throwing out the teams, but we're going to go over it anyway. So if you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and let's get right into it. So we've gone over articles like this before, and it's going to go over kind of what we just talked about as well. He hasn't actually requested a trade. He's just very unhappy, but it's off season. Let's have some fun with it all. So let's go ahead and see what they're saying. So what should Houston expect in return? This is a good part to start out with. They're just going over what they should. In my mind, what you would need to get for Deshaun Watson is 3 first-round picks as a minimum. Whether there's player assets added on in there, whether there's 2 first-round picks and maybe like 2/3 and a player or something, the base value I would take for Deshaun Watson is 3 first-round selections, because if you're getting rid of Deshaun Watson, you're basically restarting again as the Houston Texans, and that's a tough one to sell to your team. So you could pull something like Miami or Jacksonville or anything, because when trading, or even the Jets, trading superstar talent for picks always hurts until the draft comes up. So you're going to want to see what you can get. And this is a weird draft class. We don't really know as much as we would about other prospects in past years because of COVID and the regulations that have happened with the college football season. But for Deshaun Watson, I think the minimum that you can get for him is 3 first-round picks, at least value-wise. It can fluctuate, but 3 first-round picks for me is where I would put him at. So let's go look at some trades here. The Carolina Panthers. Now, this is an interesting one. They just paid Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy didn't have a bad year. He was also without McCaffrey for most of the year, but he seemed to be doing pretty well with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, etc. So I think that it is a good spot for him to be in. There's always room for upgrades. A lot of these teams, even my Giants, have been thrown in there like, oh, should they go after Watson? I'm not saying I would want Deshaun Watson or not want him, but it's always an upgrade. Deshaun Watson is better than 90% of the quarterbacks in the NFL, and a lot of teams, even if they have a good quarterback, should be looking at a guy like Deshaun Watson. So if the Carolina Panthers are getting rid of Teddy Bridgewater, or if they're just looking to upgrade and really take that next step to have with McCaffrey, it's interesting. It really is interesting. We'll see what they have here. Let's see if they have an actual. Yeah, see, they don't really have one here. Let's see. I'm just kind of seeing if they're likely to give veteran Teddy Bridgewater another shot under center. Yes, we agree with that. Okay, so they do have a mock trade in the bottom. Bridgewater, the 8th pick, a 2nd-round pick, and another first-rounder for Watson. So that's 2 first-round picks, a 2nd-round pick, and Teddy Bridgewater. So I like this for both teams because you're getting a lot for Deshaun Watson, and you're still getting a quarterback that can, no pun intended, bridge you to the next successor to the franchise, or the next franchise quarterback, or even be that franchise quarterback for, a good 5-6 years if Bridgewater can hold on to it for that long. He didn't look bad in Carolina, but if you're getting the number 8 overall pick this year, plus Teddy Bridgewater and those picks, that's a very good haul for a guy like Deshaun Watson. And then you look at the Panthers. Yeah, it's going to really hurt not having those first-round picks because you definitely have a lot of holes. With that 8th pick, you're probably going to go after a guy like a Micah Parsons or somebody that can just help you out on that defensive side, linebacker position, or just a lot of holes you have to fill. But Deshaun Watson with McCaffrey throwing the ball to Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, I mean, that's just too cool to pass up on. So I could see it working for both sides. Then we're going over to the next one. We already kind of saw it. Chicago Bears. Chicago's been in a weird quarterback situation. I think Trubisky should have had the season to play out. He's looked, better than most people give him credit for this season compared to Foles. And I don't really know what they would say. So they said could still save his job in the playoffs, and we'll see what he does tomorrow. But they're saying, let's see, offer Foles their next 2 first-round picks and a day 2 selection. I wouldn't take that. I'd take the first deal way more than I would do that. I don't want Foles at all. Why would I want Foles? Foles has shown that he's not a starting caliber quarterback. He's a great backup, but not a starting caliber quarterback. 2 first-round picks are good, but for the Bears, they're a playoff team. Those first-round picks really don't have much value. And then a day 2 selection, I mean, yeah, I just don't know. And on top of that, they got rid of a lot of things because of getting Khalil Mack. I just don't know. And also for the Bears, I don't know if you would even want to go after a guy like Watson. Everyone should want to go after a guy like Watson, but the amount of money he costs plus the amount of value you're going to have to give up, you're setting yourself back. If you guys don't win within the next couple of years with him, it's really going to set your franchise back a lot. So I don't really know if they would want to do that. The Denver Broncos are here. I love this one a lot. I don't think Drew Lock is the answer. He didn't have a fully healthy season. It was definitely a weird season for him, but he hasn't proved to me anything in his whole time in the NFL. Even those games last year was like 5 or 6 games where he did well, he hasn't proved to me anything. He has not shown, hey, this is exactly, this is exactly who we want as our franchise quarterback. I just don't see that. And although it's completed 57%, fourth lowest rated qualified passer, I just don't see it as seeing that and saying, okay, look, like we do not need to spend any assets on a quarterback, or we do not need to go after it. If there's somebody there that could be better than Drew Lock, I'd go after it, because Drew Lock really hasn't shown that it factor for me. So they have the 9th overall and have enough cap space to do it. Blah, blah, blah. So let's say they give up Drew Lock, the 9th overall pick, a 2nd-round pick, and another first-rounder. I like that trade a lot. I don't know if I like it more than the Teddy Bridgewater one, but Drew Lock could be a franchise quarterback, so you might want to take that risk. He's a young guy. The 9th overall pick, a first-rounder, and a second-rounder, because you don't really know what the Broncos are going to be with Watson, so those picks could be very valuable. I like that one a lot. It seems like that's going to be kind of the main package, is 2 first-round picks, a player, and a second-round pick. I'm not opposed to that. So right now, I think I'd take the Broncos deal. If I'm Houston, I think I'm taking the Broncos deal. Detroit Lions, we already know that they're kind of looking to move on. So they have the number 7th overall pick, a second-rounder this year, and a first-rounder next year. It's essentially you're getting Watson instead of Wilson or Lance. That I agree with. I don't know if they really take a quarterback with pick 7, unless they really don't care about Stafford, unless they're really believing in those guys. I just don't know if I believe in those guys enough to take them number 7 overall. But doing this deal as a Lions fan, if you're re-signing Galladay, I'd love to do it, because in that sense, you're not taking the risk on, hey, can Lance or Wilson be that it factor, or if Fields happens to fall that far, which I don't think he will, can they be that franchise guy? You don't have to. You take that risk. Watson's that guy. The risk of that is your team is very young. There's a lot of gaps that you need to fill, in my opinion. A lot of it's coaching, but a lot of it is holes you have to fill. Not having a first rounder in this year and next year, plus a second rounder this year, you're missing out on a lot of talent. At least top caliber talent. We don't know if it's going to be. We obviously don't know what is going to happen with these players until they actually go to the league. But I think you're not getting a player back, but I think this might be a juicier deal than the Broncos one. I think that the Lions might be. I don't know. Let's see. Wait, a steeper alternative could be offered that sends the number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okudah, to Houston, along with the 7th. I would love that if I was Houston. I think the Lions are my top team right now for these. The Colts, we should not. Phillip Rivers should not be there. They're saying they want him to be there. I don't think so. So let's see, 3 consecutive first round picks, but this is a move that I think would be great for the Colts. If I'm the Texans, I don't know if I really like that completely, just because this team is a beast team. They just lost in the playoffs today, but barely to the Bills. I never thought Phillip was going to be able to lead them anywhere either. But when you look at that, they're still going to be a playoff team with Phillip or with whoever you want to throw at quarterback, because that team is just so good, so deep roster-wise. They need some help with receiver, but giving up 3 first-round picks for them, those picks are probably going to be in the 20s every year, and Watson's going to lead them arguably to a Super Bowl with that kind of roster. So I don't like the Colts as one value-wise if I'm Houston, but we'll see what it is. Vegas, between Dwayne Haskins rumors and Marcus Mariota. Yeah, Derek Carr's been very weird. No one really knows. Texans would like to demand. Let's see. They're saying the Texans could take a flyer on him. So 17th overall selection this year, their first rounder next year. And if they don't value Carr, they probably need something else. So I think it's cool, because having a guy like Watson to open up the stadium with fans hopefully next season would be awesome for the Raiders. I really do like that. Carr, I think it's time to move on from Carr, not only just for the franchise's sake, but for his sake. I think that everyone just needs to kind of count their losses and just say, hey, this didn't work out. It was good while it lasted. Let's move on to something else. Carr, I think, can get a starting job somewhere else. Washington, off the top of my head, New England. There's a lot of teams that could use a quarterback like Carr, and he's not a bad quarterback in the slightest. He has those flashes. He had an MVP caliber season one year. He's not bad at all, but going into it with Deshaun Watson to add on to Henry Ruggs in his second year, Hunter Renfrow in year 3, Darren Waller, who's been beasting it up, Josh Jacobs, who's one of the best running backs in the league, an offensive line that's getting better and better each year. The defense is getting better and better. I think it's a way better situation for them. If you're able to give up Carr with it and maybe keep one of those first-round picks, great. But if you can give up the first-round picks for them, for Watson, I think it'll be great for your franchise. I like this a lot for Vegas. I still think that either Denver – I think Denver's probably my top result right now for my selection. Miami, I don't even really want to go over this. This is just so stupid. It says going well outside the box. So let's see. Tua was somewhat disappointing. I don't think so. He did very well for what he was thrown into and not really having the confidence from the coach and everything like that. I think it was very good. What if the Dolphins were to flip the number 3 overall pick back to Houston with Tua Tagovailoa for Watson? If you're giving up 3 and Tua for Deshaun Watson, I mean, if I'm Houston, I'm taking this. This is my favorite deal now. I will say that because then you Texans do get you do get a quarterback who's going to be a franchise quarterback for me. I really am high on Tua. I think he's going to be very good in this league. And the number 3 overall pick, which you can turn into anything, basically. The only one we know is off the board is Trevor Lawrence. We don't really know what's going to happen at pick 2. It's probably going to be P9, but we don't really know. I'd take this 100% of the time because the number 3 overall pick, that is almost a guaranteed superstar. And you're getting a Tua, who's another top 5 selection, who is a franchise-type caliber quarterback. I'd take this one, and I would not look back. Even though 3 first-round picks sounds great, I don't have to worry about where those picks are going to be. I'm taking this one 100% of the time. I just don't think it's really good. Patriots, we know the Patriots are going to be on here. They're always on here. Let's see. Jarrett Stidham, the 15th overall pick, a second-rounder, and another first-rounder. And you might need to part ways with a young corner like JC. There's no way they're getting rid of JC Jackson after the season he had. He has been an absolute beast. Maybe Jonathan Jones. I'd like the Miami deal still more for Houston. Stidham, he's probably going to be a backup. He should have won the job already if he hasn't. That's just simply how it's going to be. Number 15 overall pick is nice, but after that, the next year pick, I really don't think it'll be that good. I think they'll find somebody and be back in the playoffs. I don't know. I think, especially with Watson, if they get Watson, they're going to be in the playoffs. So those picks aren't going to be that good. So I'd still go with Miami deal if I was doing anything. The Niners, we don't really know what's going to happen with Jimmy G, so this is kind of cool. Let's see. A 1-year flyer, so taking on Garoppolo, the number 12 selection, and a first-round pick next year. If I'm the Texans, I still would rather like the Dolphins win or something like that. The good thing about this is if the Texans are like, all right, we're trading Deshaun Watson, they can just send out a thing saying, hey, we're getting rid of Deshaun Watson, send your offers, and decide who they want. So this is kind of what they're going to be able to do. I just don't see this as being something to help him. Garoppolo, I think, is good. I think is because of the injuries, I think his time in the NFL as being a starting caliber quarterback is just slowly dwindling. He's not bad. He's not going to be horrible. It's just the injuries are catching up to him, and I just don't know how much I can trust him anymore. And number 12 overall selection is pretty good this year, but they're such a good team. They're such a good team. I just don't see that that pick next year will be worth it. I just don't think I get enough from them. I just don't think I get enough from them, especially compared to the other offers like the Denver offer or the Miami offer. The Washington football team, another one which would be very, very fun to do. Let's see. Making the playoffs, so they'll have to settle for the 19th overall pick. So this year's pick, so pick 19 at best. So it's not pick 19 most likely, but pick 19, another first rounder next year, and more draft capital. 3 first-round picks might be too steep for an organization that suggests offensive line. I demand 3 first-round picks from Washington because as good of a team as they are in the NFC East, the Cowboys are going to be better. The Giants look very good this year. With Saquon back, they should be better. The Eagles should be better. We just don't know if Washington's really going to keep up that high caliber, playoff caliber football. So these picks could still be in the 10 range, So 3 first-round picks for Watson. I mean, Watson's a beast. He'll make the team a lot better, and he probably will make them a playoff team guaranteed. As a Giants fan, I wouldn't want him on Washington because I don't want to verse Deshaun Watson twice a year. I really don't. But settling for the 19th overall pick is really the hard part for them. Do they want to do that? I don't know. I think that the other deals are probably going to be better as well. Now, the teams that were excluded. Okay, so this is kind of cool. The Falcons, a new regime is being installed. but they have a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. It just isn't realistic. Cool. The Rams, they're not giving up on Goff. That's stupid. The Saints, yeah, Saints is going to be too hard to do. I agree with that. The Eagles, yeah, unless you can flip Wentz, far-fetched. Unless you can flip Wentz and you don't believe in Hurts, which they really don't believe in Hurts, or at least Peterson doesn't. I don't know. Steelers, if he retires, then it's going to help them. But if he doesn't, he has a lot of money. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to do. Tampa Bay, Brady's saying that he still wants to play, so there's not much there. So, for me, I think that if I was Houston, these were the deals that were offered to me. I'd call up Miami and say, hey, pick 3 and Tua, maybe even try and get another pick, like a day, like not a day 3 pick, but like a 3rd-round pick or something like that. Squeeze another pick out of them, and I would run with that because Tua's a franchise caliber quarterback, and you're getting the number 3 overall pick. But other than that, maybe the Denver selection would be good because you really don't know where their team's going to be. Von Miller should be back, though. So I think Miami would be the best one because you're guaranteeing yourself, you're basically setting yourself back 3 years on Deshaun Watson, 2 years on Deshaun Watson. I think Tua has the caliber to be that good. And on top of that, you're getting a superstar caliber talent at pick 3, whoever that may be. So without further ado, I do think that was a pretty good article. So shout out to Brad Gagnon, I believe is the name. Let's just make sure that's true before we say anything. Brad Gagnon, of course, another good article from them and Bleacher Report. So appreciate you for that. If you guys are new to the channel, of course, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, turn those notification bells on so you get a notification anytime I upload another video. Appreciate you guys for sticking with me so much. We did pass 780 subscribers, which is kind of cool. The numbers keep going up. Even though I lack posting a little bit, the numbers are still doing well. I'm still responding in the comments. So, of course, leave your comments down below. This doesn't even have to be about this situation, but leave your comments down below and let's see what you guys are thinking about football, and we'll make a video about it if that. So, again, appreciate you guys. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you didn't, refresh the page, check it out again. Let me know what you think a second time. And without further ado, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.